All right. So we're coming back. I'm coming back from a 6 week vacation in being in Hawaii with my family. And I'm already back here in Utah, and it's definitely drier. It's definitely a desert. And I am missing the humidity, and I'm starting to lose that tan already. So we gotta work on that. But I wanted to share a couple of things, and I'd love, like, this to be kind of a discussion with everybody too, um, on kind of debriefing what it was like to go on a workcation. That's what I called it when I was like leaving. Is like it's going to be like a workcation. I'm working like remotely the whole entire time. Um, when I got out there, I realized that like things are better than I thought they would be, and I learned a lot about running a team and what that would look like while being out there, and it kind of elevated my thinking as well. And so I wanted to share a couple of things there. Um, and looks like we have a couple other people joining, so I'll let them in real quick. Right. So yeah, so I was just saying, talking about my debriefing of this Hawaii trip that I just got back from. And so the last 6 weeks I spent in Hawaii with my family. And I'll kind of give you the high, like the high level part of all this is that the first part of it was extremely difficult for me as an entrepreneur to go out of my comfort zone and to be working in a place that I couldn't rely on the Wi-Fi. It wasn't working. I didn't have like my office space. I didn't have my desk. I didn't have my monitors all over the place. I didn't have my setup, if you will. And it really kind of threw me for a loop. I know Chelsea, who's on the call. Chelsea, you do a fair amount of traveling, don't you?
Um, yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it like for you when you go like travel and work? Is that
Oh,
difficult for
it just
you? Is it hard?
depends. Sometimes it's more productive, other times, I mean, I think more often than not, it's definitely more difficult, but sometimes I actually find it's even more productive.
Yeah.
But that's more rare than not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a challenge to like do that. And what I learned from it, like more than anything, was first the preparation as like, as you're building a company or you already have a company that's like running smooth. It's super, super important to find the right people to really help you, right? As a business owner, who are the people? What are the resources that you can leverage? And has anyone seen the show Undercover Billionaire on the Discovery Channel? Maybe you heard of that?
Uh-uh. Is that
Yeah.
the one where they like go into their own businesses?
So that's Undercover Boss.
Oh yeah, that one's good.
And that's on like, I think that's on like CNBC or something like that, right? Like more like
Oh
that
yeah, yeah.
business channel. This is like
Mm.
Discovery Channel. And it's kind of like, I actually watched it on my plane ride home from Hawaii. And it's crazy to take like these billionaires and they essentially, create a new identity for them. They give them $100, a vehicle and like a phone with no contacts in it, but they can like go and access like the internet from their phone or have data and stuff like that. And it's like go and build their goal is in 90 days to make $1 million in 90 days and with no previous contacts or anything out there. And it's so insane. I was watching this and I won't give away all of it, but one of the most insane like principles that I saw from it was the mindset of the billionaire is very different from the mindset of, someone who wants to make a couple $1,000s or whatever, right? Because the person with a couple $1,000s says, I'm going to trade my time for money, right? Like it's just like, I'll work for you and do this, right? And the millionaire mindset is like, wow, I've got something really good. I'm going to keep selling this, blah, 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 blah. And then the billionaire mindset, at least from what I took from the show, at the first like two episodes was literally like, they just admit that they're just not the smartest. And they're good at a couple of things, and that's really it. And that their whole, like, what I learned from it, it was the CEO of Bear Stearns, so like a big finance company, lending company. And so what he did was, I mean, he literally had $100 to his name. He just went out and just started basically cleaning houses, like looking up, like, you know, trying to scavenge like different like junkyards for tires and resell them on Facebook and like other places. And it was so cool to watch because at one point he had like, I think it was like $1,200 to his name, like in this scenario, and he can't use any of those contacts, but he had a team of like 10 people that were going to build this company with him. And he only had like $1,200. And it's like, wow, like just the vision and like the ability to just create something and realize that he didn't have all the answers, but he was going to figure it out. And he needed to make sure he had the right people around him. And so having said that, one thing I learned while being out for 6 weeks in Hawaii was that you got to have the right people. And that I think that I was the reason why I was slowing down our company in growth, like 100%. I already know it, because it's like, as soon as I leave and I hand over stuff to Landon, Lexi, and everyone else on the team, like nothing went to shit. Everything worked out, and it actually got better. Better processes were moved down from it, and it's not as confusing anymore, right? And so I think that a lot of times as business owners, is we tie our identity to the business, and we think that it's this really, really important thing to us, and that without us, like, what would it do? And not saying that, you should just ditch everything in your business and run in a different direction and go to Hawaii for 6 weeks, but it took a lot of time and effort to get there. But at the same time, I think we underestimate the power of the people around us and the people that are on our team. And a lot of times as leaders, we just need to really inspire the people around us, and we can get a huge result from that alone. So if I were to debrief, the number one thing I learned from being out for 6 weeks is that just learning to let go and to be okay with letting others like really step into their role. And I believe that people are intelligent, they're hardworking, and that when they're given the opportunity, they always rise to the occasion. And that some it might take more leadership with and more like fine tuning, and others will naturally do that. And so, but it was a real interesting kind of debrief as I was thinking through, like, what did I really learn while being gone? But that would be the number one thing. So any other thoughts from everybody? Landon, you guys survived without me, huh?
Barely.
Yeah.
Barely.
Right. He's like, if you would have given me just an extra 2 weeks, we really could have made something work before you got back.